Okay, so on to question 36. So we have to adjust the click speed for our mouse. And just to let you know, on the exam, many of the settings that you have to do will be very similar to what you see here, but they won't be the exact ones. So if you could go to the mouse properties, the mouse settings, okay, you'll be able to find what you need to do on the exam. So for now, let's bring up our mouse settings. Okay, so we can just simply type it in as usual. That's usually the fastest way, but just by looking through, you might be able to find something right away. And there we go. We see an option there for configuring our mouse. Now, when we look over here, okay, on the left-hand side, there are settings for the mouse. We click on that. And we don't have a lot of options here. We can change it for a left-handed and right-handed user. So a right-handed user uses the left button and vice versa for another user. We can configure the roll, the wheel in the middle when we scroll with it, what we can do. So it doesn't look like there's a heck of a lot. I guess they just have the most commonly used settings. But if we just look around a little bit, something might come to the rescue here. And what I see over here on the right-hand side, we can adjust the mouse and cursor size. That's the pointer that I'm using right now to point on the screen. And we see there's also additional mouse options. Let's click on that and see what happens. Ah, yes. And now we have the full mouse settings. Everything we want to configure with the mouse is right there. So we can change it from a left-handed to a right-handed user. Okay. We can control the click speed, make it faster or slower. Okay. So typically as people get older, senior citizens, people in their 70s, they will need a slower click speed. And we have many other options here that you might potentially find on the exam. So, don't despair. If it's something you haven't seen yet, just look around and you will find it. Okay, so let me click out of this. I don't want to change my mouse click speed. It's good enough the way it is. Okay, we'll go back to home for the settings, home settings here. And we'll go on to the next question. So configure Windows for a bilingual user. Okay, so we go to the settings, and if we look carefully here, there's a whole collection of settings for time and language. Okay, so we click on that. We look on the left-hand side, date and time, region, language. Okay, so let's click on language. And I see here I have a couple of languages. Okay, I have English and I have French. And if you look down here on my taskbar, this area of the taskbar is called the system tray. I see that I can toggle back and forth between different languages. So right now we have it set on English. I can change it if I want. Okay, and if you don't see the language that you want here, well, just go ahead and click the Add button, and let's do a search here. We'll search for French. Okay, and you can go ahead and install any additional languages that you need. So we already have English and French set here, so it's already set up for a bilingual user. And again, keep in mind, it's not necessarily going to be the exact question. If we click on regions, we may need to change our region. Maybe we're taking our lap over to Europe or South America, and we may need to make changes in here, changes to date and time. Okay, so it's just a matter of going in there and finding the correct setting. Okay, Check that Windows Defender is enabled. Well, I can see here in my system tray whether it is or not. It's this shield here. It is some antivirus protection from malware and other threats that can infect our computer. This was introduced a few years ago, didn't work very well. It has improved a great deal. And you can see here, security is important to me because I've also downloaded Bitdefender and I have Malwarebytes. So I have a lot of protection on my computer here. So let's go look at the configuration for Windows Defender. Okay, this is the antivirus software that comes with Windows. Okay, so we'll go to Settings. We'll type Windows Defender. There it is. Okay. And we want to make sure that it is enabled. So turn on Windows Defender Firewall. Okay. And by doing that, we will have additional protection on our computer. We have more security settings here that we will look at in future courses. We can control what kind of information comes into our computer from the internet. So let's click the back button, and actually I'm going to close this here. And in the next question, download some additional antivirus protection. Windows Defender is good, but these ones here are even better. So Malwarebytes, that's a good option. That's what I'm currently using. I like that because it has a way of cleaning up your browser. Okay, and Avast. And if you're not sure, well, just come over here, type free antivirus software, and you'll see a number of lists here. Okay, if I scroll down, there's PC Magazine. It reviews some of the antivirus software, so that's a good place you can go. And they will go through the best free anti-software. So you can see here, this one received 4.5 stars out of 5, 4, AVG 4, and you know, they give you the link so that you can go. But before you do that, you know, read the description, and you know, they're not all created equal. Some of them are better than others. Here's Bitdefender. Here's Avast. You can click over here. Avira is popular. Okay. Defender doesn't get a great rating here. It's only 3.5, and so on. So be an informed user. Don't just download and install anything. See how it ranks. See if it's actually worth using. And you can click the link right there to read about it and decide which one you're going to download. Okay, so I think we're just about done. And now examine your startup apps. Now, when you turn on your computer, okay, it can take a long time to start up. And you'll see why. You know, as we install programs into our computer, they like to take over our system, and they like to start up automatically when you boot up the computer. So let's go ahead and examine the list of startup apps. Maybe we don't need them all. Maybe there's some of them we can disable, disable them on startup. So we'll go back to Windows settings, and we'll type startup apps. There it is. And there's the list. Here's a list of programs that will start automatically when I boot up my computer. You don't actually see it. These are programs running in the background. Java Update Scheduler. Well, you know, I don't need my Java updating all the time. In fact, I'm even thinking of uninstalling Java. I don't use Microsoft OneDrive. This is like a Google Drive, but from Microsoft. I disabled my Microsoft Teams, OpenDNS, and I'm disabling them because I know what they are, and I know that I don't need them. Now, if you don't know what something is, don't disable it. It could be offering some sort of protection to your computer. Look at this HKCMD module. Hey, what the heck is that? I see it's from Intel Corporation. Don't disable it right away. Find out what that is before disabling it. Okay? So in general, if you don't actually need it to start up, okay, with your computer, every time you boot up your computer, just go ahead and disable it, and that way you'll have a much faster boot. So I think that's about it for settings, and we already mentioned that it's a good idea, and just explore it. You'll never learn it by somebody teaching it to you. The only way you can really find out what all the Windows settings are is just by going in there, exploring, and seeing what's there. And this is what Windows 10 introduced. Okay, keep in mind, way before we had this nice sleek interface, we had the control panel with many other options, so you might want to see the old-fashioned control panel as well and compare the two. Now, the last question we have here is to delete a virtual machine and all the associated files. You will find that in the other video here for installing Windows 10. So you can go to that video once it's posted, and you'll see the correct way to uninstall an operating system. It's just a virtual machine is just a file, and it's very straightforward to uninstall it from your computer.